Bonnie. Welcome to Unfiltered,
Hey.
Unspoken podcast.
All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Ready to go.
Yes. Well, this will be airing on
Um,
Sunday. So,
okay.
yeah, happy Sunday. Yes.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Yes. So we want to, as we said, we're going to continue to bring life experiences, and Bonnie has a story, life experience to tell. I try to stay away from story because it is a
Right,
life experience because
right,
it's your experience.
right.
So, Bonnie, welcome to Unfiltered Unspoken podcast again. Would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and giving us an introduction?
All right. Thank you, everybody, for having me here. I appreciate this. My name is Bonnie Hardie. I am a mindset, life, and gratitude coach, the owner of Rock Solid Mindset, Life, and Gratitude Coaching. I am based in Central Florida, actually very close to Walt Disney World, so that's really interesting. Um, I excuse me. I empower midlife women to say bon voyage to the shackles in their minds so that they can live their best life and reclaim their joy and passion. I also have multiple ebooks on lulu.com. I do podcast guesting quite often. I am a summit guest expert speaker. I talk a lot about the mindset, the whole mind body connection, how to have an awesome morning routine. I'm totally anti bullying. I'm anti judgmental. I'm anti narcissism. Certain things I'm totally anti against. And I am all for supporting and encouraging and motivating others, men, women, older, younger, all that kind of stuff. I just really want everybody to be nice to other people. Right now, we're getting closer to the holidays. So I don't want anybody to feel like they're lonely or left out at the holiday season. I want everybody to be included in everybody's life and activities. So hit me with your best shot, ladies. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. So, um, again, we always start at the beginning. How things kind of formed. To how you've gotten to where you are in life now. So, in childhood, was there anything that any specific examples that contributed to what you're fighting against today?
Actually, no. My childhood was pretty good. I know a lot of people didn't have a good childhood, but my childhood was pretty good. Two older sisters, one younger brother. I was the only one of the four children not born in Florida. I was born in Massachusetts. My dad was a staff sergeant in the Air Force, and we he was in the Vietnam War, and we moved out of Massachusetts when I was about a year old. And honestly, I've never been back since then, and I do want to go back, though not in the wintertime. And we were in Okinawa for a little while, and then we moved to South Carolina. And then in 1969, when I was 5 years old, we moved to South Florida, and my family still lives in South Florida and Palm Beach County, and I'm still friends with people that lived on my street. And when I went to high school with, we're still friends online. So that is really cool because not a lot of people do that. We talk like you remember Friday night skating, and you remember Monday night watching wrestling, going to wrestling events. So my childhood was really really good. My dad did pass away when I was 28 years old, so that did have an effect on me. And my oldest sister passed away about 7 years ago when she was 58, and I just in August turned 59. So that I got a little freaked out for a while. Just say, okay, I want to make sure that I live to be longer than my sister. And I talk about procrastination and don't let the music die in you. Do what you want to do. Like I said, I just turned 59, and I want people to don't regret don't regret your life. If there's dreams you want to have, go out and do them, and don't worry about it. If you think you're too old, you think they won't hire a female. I'm too fat. I'm too this. I've got disabilities. Just go out and do what you want to do. I recently was on a
Okay.
podcast, and when we talked about the dash, when you're on your gravestone, it says you're born in 1900 and you died in 1980. What would you do in the 80 years? What you do in that dash? And I want people to say, hey, just because I'm this age doesn't mean that I can't do what I still want to do. I read about this lady. She was like 102 years old and she went skydiving. It's like, that's pretty cool. So
Mm-hmm.
don't procrastinate because you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know. I've had my great grandmother and great aunt. They both lived to be over 100 years old. So that's like
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool. And then when my dad passed away, I believe he was 62. My sister was 58. So that's a big difference. If you're going to live to be over
Yeah.
100, you want to have a strong life. And my great aunt, she was still drinking hot toddy every afternoon, where she lives. So she was living her best life. So, not that many
I
people
love.
could do. She's still going to the hairdresser every week and stuff like that, playing cards, drinking a hot toddy. So I'm like, that's the life I want to live, no matter how old I
It,
am.
it,
101 years old, drinking a hot toddy. Who does that?
right. Well, she did it right, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna turn it because I want to jump back because you went through some traumas in your life, and we want to bring awareness to the audience. And I guess we'll start back to bullying. When did
right.
your when did the bullying started, and where did it start at?
Actually, it's been kind of more recent as I've gotten older, and been in different places, and I've had people call me. I'm in a public place, so I can't say exactly what they call me, but let's say FA, loser, liar, stuff like that, and it's like that's not cool. And I've had people that I know commit suicide because they were bullied so much. And it's like I don't want to be that person that judges other people and says, why are you like this? You're lazy. You need to get a job. We need to do that. All people want is to feel like they belong and be treated respectfully and not be ignored. It's sometimes I'm sitting in a corner crying and people just walk by and then they don't even see me, and I'm like, and I use hashtags like, I'm invincible, not invisible. My name is Bonnie, not Bum. Luckily, it doesn't have, there's only a few people that have been like that, but it only takes one person to say something to you at the wrong time, and that pushes you over the edge. And, now that, like I said before, we're getting to the holidays, and people just get sad and upset. Maybe they don't have any family. Maybe they don't get along with their family. I personally myself don't know what I'm going to be doing on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Last Thanksgiving, I actually spent a whole day at a coffee shop. I didn't even have turkey dinner for Thanksgiving last year. I don't know what I'm doing this year. It depends on a couple different things. And I don't like to see people be mean to others because they're in a different situation than them. Just because, they're homeless, or they, don't live as nice of a house, or, they're really poor, or they're overweight or whatever. Don't be mean to people. Don't judge people, because how do you want to be treated? I want everybody to treat everybody else. It's like if somebody treated you that way, treated your mom or your sister, your daughter that way, how would you feel? Or what if your mom or your dad saw you treating somebody like that and being nasty to somebody? What would they do? My mom would kill me. She'd probably wash my mouth out with soap really quick, even at my age. So don't judge people. Don't bully people. Just you don't know why people are in the position they're in, and just let them be, and you do your thing and I do my thing. That's my philosophy for the most part.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's a good mission statement to live by for sure.
Right.
So, what kind of, I guess, was there a defining moment that where you decided that this is the lane and avenue that you wanted to go in? Where did that motivation come from?
Probably the motivation came from how I saw people being treated, and how I don't think there was any like one defining moment. Probably a whole lot of things just came all up at the same time, and I just saw, they say hurt people, but it's like just because somebody hurt you, if I did something to you and made you feel really bad, really, really bad, why would you do that same thing to somebody else? Why would you drag somebody down? I'm not asking for a handout. I'm asking for a hand up. I want you to reach down, grab my hand, and pull me up. And I'm going to reach down and grab somebody else's hand and pull them up. We're all in this world together. We all have to live together. We all have to do everything together. So, treat others how you want to be treated. I know it sounds trite. Oh, I just want the world to be a happy place. But I don't want to see people fighting, getting upset, being disrespectful to people for, whatever reason. Everybody's, we're all working as hard as we can. So many things have gone on worldwide with different things. And it's like, I've seen, the COVID break up friendships, break up families and stuff like that. And it's like, just be respectful and be nice to somebody. And what's that saying? If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. And if you're gonna be like that to somebody, you need to take yourself outside and put yourself in your own lockdown. Put yourself on restriction and don't say anything to anybody until you start to watch your attitude a little bit, because that's not cool. You could just say the wrong thing, the wrong person, at the wrong time, and God only knows what could happen. And do you want to be
Yeah.
any part of that? Do you want to be the
No.
reason that somebody commits suicide or somebody goes out and like shoots a place up because they went postal because of how you treated them? Now maybe there's a lot of other things going on. You were just a straw that broke the camel's back, and that might have been just horrible timing. But I would be aghast if I was any teeny tiny 1/10 of 1% of having somebody do something, or even having somebody feel bad about themselves. People have
Mhm.
low self esteem, people have low self confidence, and it's how people are treated. And people sometimes, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you have to do that. Why don't you just get a job? Why don't you do this? It's like, you chill your shorts, man. It's okay,
Yeah, and I'm going to ask you a question since we're chiming in that. I guess it's going to be a twofold question. At some point, did you have low self-esteem, low confidence? And I also heard you mention, you said someone can push you over the edge. Has someone pushed you over the edge? And can you let us know, like, how and how it affected you?
Well, I still do sometimes have esteem and confidence problems. So I do sometimes have to kind of be careful and say, and not think about the stuff that I don't have. I tell people to appreciate what you do have, don't dwell on what you don't have. It's like I might not have fancy things like some people do, but I still have a lot of things. And there's really not probably not been one person push me over the edge, so to speak. There's been people that said, I don't want to be your friend anymore for a while, or I got to step back from our friendship. And it's like, it's devastating. But then again, it's like, hey, it's your loss. If you don't want to be friends with me, because I can, I'm a true ride or die friend. I can back you up from here to there and help you out as much as I can. And I'm limited to how I can help people out and stuff, but I can still support and motivate you. And if you don't want to be my friend, then that's fine. You'll be talking to me later on when you see how famous I get and and what I'm doing. I tell people I don't want to be the next Tony Robbins as a motivational speaker. I'm the first Bonnie Hardie to do that, to be a motivational, inspirational speaker. So I'm doing my own thing, and if you don't want to be part of that, then that's fine. So I have to say, hey, you're just a great rock. You've got no sharp edges, and you can't hurt me anymore. And if you just don't want to deal with me, that's fine. Then I'll find plenty. There's plenty of other fish in the sea that don't want to be my friend, don't want to deal with me, and want to help support and motivate me to get to where I want to be, so I can help and support other people.
Absolutely. And when you're working with people, what would you kind of, I guess, outline your approach to be? What can someone expect? Reaching out to you for for your services.
Well, I tell people as a life coach, I'm like a 2 year old because I'm always asking why, because I want to dig down to the surface. Say you want to lose weight. Well, that's only the top part. Why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to feel better. Well, I want to move without pain. But when you keep digging, 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 sometimes you have to dig down, really deep. And usually it ends up being they want to lose weight because they want to be able to go and outside and play with their grandkids or their kids. Play sports with them, help them with their sports, and get down on the floor and have your grandchild, do horsey rides on your back, right? And if you can't do that because you're overweight, you're losing out on that. So that usually, once you dig deep enough, so once we dig deep enough, we'll get to the bottom of things, and then we'll build you back up. It's like sometimes you have to be like broken down to get built back up. One of my mantras, the name of my business is Rock Solid Mindset Life and Gratitude Coaching. So you'll hear me say rock solid a lot. And I use the phrase rock bottom to rock solid. You may be a rock bottom right now, but eventually you're going to be a rock solid. And my logo is actually a rock on a triangle. And I was just showing that to somebody a little while ago, like, oh my gosh, that's like the coolest thing ever. I've never seen something that's really neat. So you're always kind of balancing, but I want to get down to the root cause of what's going on. What do you want your life to be? Why did you know, I empower midlife women. And maybe something happened when you were, 5 years old. You were singing in the car, and somebody said, "Oh, you can't sing," and now you don't want to sing anymore because you think you're bad. Well, just get out there and do it. That could be in your subconscious that people said that, and you might be an awful singer. But that doesn't mean you can't get out and go to karaoke and sing. There's tons of other awkward. Have you seen all those people going on American Idol? Yeah, yeah. It can't be worse than any of them. So do what you want to do. That's why it's like live the life you want to live and don't procrastinate on things. And you want to go do something. Ladies over there skydiving and over 100 years old. My great aunt drinking a hot toddy at 102 years old. Do it. Just do it. Like
Do
the
it.
Nike, yeah, just like the Nike saying, just do it. Do what you want to do.
Hmm. So I wanna ask a question because I wanna jump back just a little bit just to see because I was reading um your bio with some of the things. So as a child, did you go through anything during school? You didn't go through anything at home, but did you go through anything at school?
No, I was kind of like the nerd, so to speak, because I love to
Hmm.
read. Any place I go, I can just sit in the corner reading. I'm pretty shy and quiet for the most part. I don't like generally say a lot, but I have this saying like I know where the bodies are buried because I observe. I know exactly what's going on with everybody, and I could be sitting in the corner reading a book, but I'm hearing what people are saying. And I try to, if I hear that somebody is saying something that they're upset or whatever, I'll try to say, "Hey, are you okay? Do you just need to talk?" But I was popular in high school. I wasn't like a jock or anything like that. But I had my set of friends, and like I said earlier, I'm still friends with a bunch of people from high school. Where we talk online on a regular basis, keep in touch. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this and that and is going on. They remember my family, so it's like pretty cool that we do that. So not a lot of people you can't even you might not even remember your high school name. It's like or what you were the North Shore Mustangs. People can't even remember that. So nothing really happened till I grew up, and then you started meeting people who aren't as nice as you are, which is a crying shame.
And that's where we're gonna jump at is into the adulthood.
Oh
Right,
yeah,
Sid.
oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna jump into the adulthood. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Sorry,
So,
Sid.
were there any significant kind of trials or tribulations that you went through in adulthood? Outside, I know one you said one of your parents passed, but anything else kind of go on at that moment that was a pivotal moment for you?
Not that I can recall. I'm sure there's probably something, and I might have buried it in my subconscious. A lot of people do, but we had a really good family dynamic, and I talk to my family on a regular basis. I haven't seen them in several years because we live 150 miles away. So, but we still I call my mom almost every Sunday or every other Sunday and check in and let her know what's going on. So it's just once you eventually when you grow up you meet bullies and you don't realize they're a bully at first, and then they start to like turn on you or people use you and stuff like that. So I mean, there's always going to be something to happen somewhere that contributes later on, and eventually you're like, okay, now you can connect the dots, so to speak, or color in between the lines about what happened, and oh, this happened over there, and now this is going on over here.
Sorry you went through that. So coming into adulthood, I see you're a distance from your family because you went through a piece of homelessness. How did that start or come about, or how did you get in that position?
Well, I am still homeless right now, and it's been about a year and a half off and on. I've been able to go stay at Airbnb or a hotel or a hostel, but I was in a hostile environment that was just going to get worse. So it was kind of the lesser of two evils. Stay in this environment and be have people, say not nice things to me, have a roof over my head, or leave, not have a roof over my head, but not have people constantly, it wasn't like a lot of people were berating me, just one or two people, just tempers flared and people got stressed out and they're just saying stuff to everybody else, and it's like, I'm not going to take that. If I have to be homeless for a while to not be verbally abused, then that's what's going to happen. Unfortunately, I've been homeless a lot longer than I anticipated, and I hope it's not going to be too much longer. But it's like I had to make a decision, and I made the best one I could at that point in time. Maybe somebody else would have made a different decision, but they weren't in my shoes. They didn't know what was going on, and only a few people kind of were there to know more about exactly everything that was what was happening. So it's like, I gotta learn to pull my own bootstraps up and get going and do stuff on my own. But I've learned a lot of gratitude and stuff, and it's like, if I'm doing all these things in my position, nobody else has an excuse. If I have to go to coffee shops to do podcasts and do summits and stuff, that's what I have to do, and I'm doing it. And some people, they don't even want to, they say, "Oh, I can't do that. I don't have a room in my house." It's like, I don't have a room any place, and I still figured out how to do it. So, if I'm not sleeping real good at night, I'm not eating properly, I'm always stressed out, I'm always looking around, and this is help. Not this is depression, anxiety, PTSD from being homeless. You know, but it's like I'm still powering through every day, getting up early and helping people out as much as I can. I got friends like all over the world, so I reach out to people on a regular basis. So I'm getting all the puzzle pieces together. They're not in the right spot, but they're together. We just gotta organize it just a little bit better.
Understood. Understood. Now, obviously, this is a line of work that you're passionate about.
Right.
However, is it do you at times maybe feel like, with what you have going on, that it's rather draining, or is it kind of more in a sense of helping you take your mind off what you got going on? Like, how are things sitting on you, with your own personal situations going on, and then what you are doing out for your services?
Well, it's empowering to me to help others. But then I've had people say, "Oh, you're a fraud. You're a life coach, but look at you. You're homeless. What are you doing about that?" I'm like, and then people say, "Well, don't talk about being homeless because you won't get any clients." I said, "Well, I want to be real, raw, and authentic, and maybe part of the reason I am homeless is because I don't have any clients. I like that I motivate, and um, I can't think of the other word, but I'm glad that I motivate people and stuff like that. But it's like I need people to pay me for my services, and I've got plenty of good services, and I am just moving stuff around right now to make it better for everybody. But it's like, hey, nobody else has much of an excuse if they've got everything that I don't have, and I'm still getting up every day early, going to different places, making it work. I've done interviews in places, and then there's ambulances going by for half the interview. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I tell people in the beginning, I'm like, I'm sorry. This is the best I can do. I don't know where else, another deal that I can do it at. So I'm doing the best I can with what I've got. But can you imagine how much more I could do when I have a permanent roof over my head, or when I am able to be 110%. I try to be at least 95% for all my podcast interviews when I talk to anybody, because I want to bring the steam. I want to bring the steam and the bacon to all my podcasts that I do and all my summits that I do, so that I want to sit out here and motivate people. And by me doing this, I'm reaching a lot more people than I'm just trying to do it on my own. So if I'm on different podcasts and talk about a lot of different subjects, then I'm reaching even more people. So, that's what motivates me. That's what gets me up. It's like, yeah, I got another podcast to do today. That's awesome. Let me just make sure I talk about this and this and stuff like that. How many people am I going to motivate and touch today? Maybe somebody's going
Yeah.
to see this later on. They're going to be like, oh, Bonnie, she really changed my mindset all the way around. Did a 180 because I was feeling sorry for myself and I was feeling bad. And now look what she's doing. So she's making it work as best she can. So I don't have an excuse now. I got a bed to sleep in. I got a way to cook food. I got my own bathroom to use. And she don't have any of that. And look what she's doing. So I'm just going to motivate me to get off of my butt and get rocking and rolling and do what I have to do.
Yeah. So, can you let the audience know some of the things that you're going through now through your homelessness? Like, where are you staying? How do you eat? Like, what are you doing on your daily stuff? Because I admire your strength to continue to give back even though you're going through something, and that's a very strong trait, and I want to give you your flowers for that. I want you to know
Thank you.
that. So,
Thank you.
my pleasure. Yeah, so if you could just let the audience know some of the things that you're going through or conditions, how you're fighting each day to survive.
Yeah, well, I sleep on bus stop benches at night. I recently just kind of changed my location a little bit. I was staying at one coffee shop, and I moved like 2 blocks away to a different coffee shop to get a different environment, get different, everything new around me. So there's a couple bus stop benches that I sleep at, but I can't really go to the bus stop bench until the buses stop running because it's not the biggest deal. People sleep on those all the time. You're really not supposed to, but as long as you don't kind of move in and stuff. But I usually get to the bench about 11:15, 11:45, and I set my alarm for 6:05 most mornings because then buses start running, and then it gets light out, and people are going to work and stuff like that. But it's not like I get there at midnight, I leave at 6, and I'm sleeping from 12:30 to 5:30. I wake up multiple times per night because you got to kind of sleep with one eye open. There's always things going on. I'm really close to a hospital, so every single night there's at least one time the fire truck or the paramedic truck goes by, and they wake me up. So I sleep as good as I can, which isn't all that great. And then I just get up early in the morning. I go to the coffee shop. I freshen up. I get online and I do stuff, and I try to eat as best I can. But if I can't cook anything, if I can't refrigerate anything, what are my options? I don't want to be eating, cookies and chips. So I eat like a lot of bologna and cheese sandwiches or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or I've even multiple times got like a can of SpaghettiOs and eaten that straight out of a can because I don't have a way to heat it. And thank God I've got an iron stomach, but that's my reality. It's like, what kind of food can I eat if I can't cook anything? Now the coffee shop I'm at now, they do have a microwave, so that makes stuff a little bit easier. So I'll be able to get more stuff. But I only, practically everything I own, I have to, I take with me. I have a big old bag, and it weighs like 40 pounds. And I got my backpack, and sometimes I put stuff in a tote bag, and I got to carry that around with me everywhere I go, on and off buses, in and out of places. And if I go in the grocery store, if I go into a department store, I have to carry all this stuff around with me all the time. So that's kind of a pain in the butt because I don't, I can't really get a whole lot of new things unless I get rid of something. But I just go to the coffee shops and I get online and I, check on friends to see how they're doing. I go through all my stuff and I just do what I do the best I can. And if I can sneak like a little bit of a 20-minute nap in there once or twice, I try to do that. That doesn't always happen. So sometimes my days are really long. And I've got bad knees. I've got osteoarthritis in my knees. And I was actually told by 2 orthopedic surgeons I probably need to have both knees replaced by the time I'm 60, which is next August. So I'm in pain from my knees. Sometimes I can barely even walk. So I've got, a lot of different things going on, but I try to not dwell on what's going on with me personally. I try to help others because when I help others, that makes me feel better. And then if I feel better, then I can help even more people. So, do the best I can under my circumstances. And people say, you need to get a job. You should do this. Why are you homeless? What's it going to take for you to get out of being homeless? I don't like that. I find that very disempowering. And when people come at me like that, it's like, if you want to come and be with me for 1 week, see if what you can see. At the end of the week, if you're smiling like I'm smiling, I'm not smiling all the time. Sometimes I'm crying in the corner. Sometimes I'll be, I'm going to have to ride the bus 6 miles to go to the gym to take a shower and do my laundry. How many people have to do that? And I have to carry all my bags with me when I do that. So, it's like, if you got any ideas that I haven't tried, but nobody ever has any ideas I haven't gone through and I haven't done, and there's no shelters where I live, and they're not very good anyway. So, the coffee shops that I go to, I know all the employees and the managers and the supervisors, and they know me and my story. They don't have a problem with me hanging out for the day. I can put my stuff in one corner and I can go, in and out, go out on the patio for a little bit and come inside and stuff like that. And they don't have a problem with it because I don't bother anybody. I actually help them out as much as I can. So, but if I'd be sitting in the corner crying, poor, poor, pitiful me, people wouldn't want to do anything to help. So it's like I'm waiting on the good karma to come back to me. It's coming a little bit here and there, but I'm waiting on more good karma to come back to me. So because it was cold this morning, it was like 65 degrees at 7 o'clock, and I live in Florida, and for Florida that's cold, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
even have any long pants or a jacket. And I really can't get that because it's not going to be cold for that long. I really don't have the space to put it. So I'm just going to be, shivering at night on the bench. But it's only a couple hours. I'll get up at 6 o'clock and I'll go inside. Then I'll be okay. So I just look at hour by hour by hour. Sometimes that's all I can do. One foot in front of the other. And you do the best you can under your circumstances. But then when I have had times where I've been in Airbnb, been in a hostel, been in a hotel, and it's like, oh my gosh. I was recently in an Airbnb in Jacksonville, Florida, and the house manager was wondering, what color did I want my sheets to be? Did I care? I'm like, I'm just happy to have a bed to sleep, and I don't care what the sheets look like. I
Absolutely.
don't even
Yeah.
care about that.
It's
Do you want my
also it's crazy to see how the people with the least have the most to give or the willing to give the most. um it's absolutely astonishing. But is this kind of your first bout of this, of being homeless or homelessness, experiencing homelessness, or have you experienced this before in life, or are you just kind of learning kind of along the way what to do with this?
Well, several years ago, I was homeless, and I was about 8 years ago, I think, and I was actually living in a tent in the woods. So that was unpleasant. But now I don't even have a tent. I don't have a car. I don't have anything. And I've been homeless right now since February 21st of last year, 2022. And I really don't want to reach my 2 year anniversary of being homeless. Some people thought this was something that I want. It's like, no, this is not something I want. There are people who have been homeless and they are okay with it. They don't want to have the responsibility of, paying bills and stuff. It's like, I want that responsibility. I don't want to be homeless, but I'm doing the best I can under my circumstances. And it's like you can't really ask for for anything else than that. It's like, what do you need the most? I need money and I need food. That's it. And if I have money, I can buy the food. So that's why I'm working really hard with my services. I do vision board workshops, to sell that to people, and just sell coaching. I'm working on a 4 month coaching program I'm going to start pretty soon. So I'm just trying to find the right combination of my services with the people that want it, because it seems like the people that need my services the most don't have the money, and the people that have the money don't need my services. So I have to find the right people. And then I get people all the time say, I'll get you to $10,000 months. I'm more about service over selling, and I just really want to help people. And obviously, the money is going to be good to, be able to let me travel and get a roof over my head. But I just need to find a few people that you need my services or are willing to buy me a coffee through buy me a tea bagel or whatever to buy me a coffee link, willing to go on my page and buy a couple ebooks on Lulu. They're only $2 each, and I make like 80 cents off each. And I'm working on making more ebooks. So I'm like, got different things I'm doing to make money. I am making a little bit here and there. It's just not really enough to sustain me, because if I could get enough to be okay through the rest of the year for like at least 4 months, then I can spend that time doing even more to get even more money coming in. So, but every time I just keep trying every single day, and it's like one of these days I'm gonna wake up and somebody's gonna, say, "Hey, here's $5,000. I want to be like your dragon. I want to be like your shark on Shark Tank. I want to help you with your business." So that's what I'm just keep plodding along, and I want people to just know about my services and sign up for whatever I have going on, even just a power hour call, and we can talk about anything: mindset, life, gratitude, business, repurposing content, uh, productivity, time management, whatever you want to talk about. That's what I can talk about. That's what I can help you with. So I know it's coming soon. I'm hoping that by the end of this month things will be much much better than they are right now, because I really don't know. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing for the holidays. I want to see my family. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible, but we're gonna try really really hard to make it work.
Okay. So does your do you want to stay in Florida, or are you able to maybe move with a family member? Um or will they accept you? Because I know sometimes we get in situations where we have family, but the distance they can't take us in, or
Yeah, that's not really feasible right now. Everybody's got their own situations going on. And what I want to do is I want to travel. I want to be able to stay in hotels, hostels, Airbnbs for 2 weeks to 2 months at a time. So I want to be able to travel. It's just me. I can, my bags are packed already. If I find a place to go, I can, get on the bus or get on the Amtrak train on Monday and go. Nothing, not really, not much is keeping me here. So I can just do it. And luckily for me, I do have that freedom. Not everybody does have that freedom, and that's the way that I reframe the situation. At least I can just, pack my bags and go, and I can, kind of do what I want when I want. And people are like, well, where are you going to go next? What are you going to do? It's like, I don't know. It depends on how much money I have to get an Amtrak train ticket, to get a bus ticket, to just be able to stay in an Airbnb, a hotel, or hostel. So I really don't know, but it's, I might get put everything together in a hat and just pick something out and say, where am I going to go? It's Carolina Tales, California. That's a country song by Jody Messina. So I talk about music a lot too. So um, I really don't know. I'm just kind of taking it day by day and just hoping for the best. I'm not expecting the worst, but I'm always hoping for the best.
Now, are we at one of those kind of mind frames where it's, this is what I want to do, and it's not going to be, anything else to interfere with that? I've, already tried different avenues. This is what I'm going to do to make it. Or, are you having other hardships, maybe picking up work elsewhere? Like, what's your mind frame now on, or I guess your boundary setting? What are your hard stops, and what are you willing to accept and not accept? Moving forward out of homelessness.
Well, what I really want is to help enough people with my programs to make enough money to be able to put back into the business and into myself. Because you have that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. So I have to help myself before I can help others. And I'm helping myself as much as I can. And now it's, this has got to work. I've got to meet with the right people who are interested in what I have. And there are people that are interested. I just don't have the money right now, is what they're telling me. So, but I'm not going to say, okay, I'll just wait till for you to sign up in January and I won't do anything else. It's like I'm getting out there every day and pounding the pavement, knocking on doors, knees and knees, talking to as many people as I can, letting people know. So things are going. and they're getting better. And I'm talking to people online and in person, but it's like I've got to make this work. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, but it's like I got to make this work. It's time to sink or swim. I can't be out here being homeless in the wintertime, even though I do live in Florida. That's not good. Doesn't make my osteoarthritis feel any better. It doesn't make me feel any better. It's everything's like a vicious cycle, and I'm trying to figure out, where the bleeding's coming from and to stop stuff. So we're getting there. It'll pop up pretty soon. That's for sure.
So I want everyone to see, and I want to make sure that I'm correct when I say this, and if I'm incorrect, please chime in, correct me. The reason, a part of the reason why you're homeless right now is because you were in a verbal domestic situation, and you just couldn't deal with it any more of people mistreating you.
Right. Right.
Can you tell us some of the things that folks were putting you through?
Um, I was in a place where it got really stressful, and people were taking their frustrations out on others and blaming everybody else for what was going on. Everybody was blaming everybody, and you know, some people were handling it different than other people, and they were just, people were getting blamed for stuff, and it's like if I didn't defend somebody who was getting blamed for something, I was the bad guy. And it's like, I'm not your savior. I'm not your angel. People are saying stuff. Let them say stuff. Then you talk to them. But I'm not the bad guy because I didn't defend you and somebody said something bad about you. That's between this person and you. So then I was being called an F and a hole and a liar and a loser and all that kind of stuff. And it's like that's no call for that. So now I feel that I was being bullied by being called that. So it's I just had it just got to the point where it's getting so bad that it's like I have to go. And when I left that situation, it even got worse for the people that were still there. So I got out in time, and like I said, if I have to be homeless, I have to be homeless. I didn't plan on being homeless for a year and a half. So I messed something up somewhere. I wasn't making enough money before to get a roof over my head. But it's like, you live and learn, and you do what you have to do. And now I can see the signs of people when I see people that they're the types of person that are a narcissist or they're a bully. I've had friends that have been, in a relationships with bullies, with narcissists and stuff. So I can kind of see the signs of narcissism, and I stay away from those people because they blame everybody else for their problems. And I admit I caused a lot of my problems. I wasn't doing stuff I should have been doing, and now I need to switch what I'm doing and just get myself out of this and not be blaming other people. It's like, hey, I got to do what I got to do, and if you're going to be there and help me, you can take this ride with me. But if you're not going to be supportive, if you're going to be interrogating me all the time, well, why you this? You got to do this. I can't deal with that kind of stuff. I need to deal with positive people around me. So if I have to tear everything down and start all over again, that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm doing. So I really don't like people who are narcissists. I don't like bullies. I don't like people who treat others bad. And I need to be around positive, motivating, encouraging people, and that's what I'm doing now. Being around more, being around better people. I'm trying to pull myself up, and I'm trying to pull other people up with me. So that's my story.
Absolutely.
Are there a lot of homeless people in Florida?
Yes, there are. When COVID hit several years ago, they closed Disney World and SeaWorld for like I think 3 or 4 months, and that's our primary part of the income coming in here. So a lot of hotels closed down, and they ended up for a lot of those hotels they ended up bulldozing them because they couldn't. Some of them didn't never even open back up, and they bulldozed them down. So there's a lot of homeless people all over, and we try to just help each other out as much as we can. But being in Central Florida, so close to Disney, where we have people flying in here and then go out, to Tampa or Port Canaveral for cruises. Well, they didn't have any cruises going out for how many months? So we got smacked pretty good, and then we've had the hurricanes and the tropical storms come through, so that doesn't help matters at all. So that's why I want to travel. So I have something's going to happen. I got another place I can go to, and I'm not stuck when a tropical storm's coming through, and I don't know where I'm going to be because I don't have the money to get a hotel for a couple of days. That's very stressful when that happens.
And I know that you said, well, you kind of stated earlier, you have your good days, you have your bad days. Realistically, not to put a time constraint on your demise, if so, but have you thought, like, realistically, how much you got to give to this? How long you think you can do this? You know, what kind of detrimental, because you have such a cheerful disposition, and not
Right.
that we expect you to be down and out, but I would like to know what are kind of those dark feelings that you're feeling. What kind of comes to mind on a negative level about the situation.
Sometimes I was just talking to a friend about this the other day. It's like sometimes I feel being down by society and other people, and I feel like I'm always apologizing for stuff, and I'm embarrassed to say I'm homeless because people judge you, and they kind of tell you how you should live your life, and it's like, luckily I'm close enough to Disney that when people see me with my bag, they might think I'm a tourist. And I met somebody today. It's like, I never would have thought you were homeless until you told me. It never would have occurred to me. So I try to not look like I am, and I try to take pride in myself and my appearance and be, as clean as I can be, considering it's kind of difficult to go take a shower. But I have tricks for that to make it not so bad. But sometimes I just get really depressed, and I feel like a loser. I'm like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. Why am I? I've got all these things that I'm doing, but I'm still homeless. What am I doing wrong? Is it something me personally? Is it something else? What is going on that I'm not getting all the puzzle pieces together? I don't know if subconsciously I think that I deserve this, and I don't deserve to have a place to stay. I'm not really sure. It's something I'm working on, but it's just like I try not to go too deep and think about stuff too much because it's really easy for to go for the hammer to drop and for you to go on the other side. I don't want to ever get in that position. I want to try to stay as positive as I can be. I mean, there's such a thing as toxic positivity where everything is all rainbows and kitty cats and marshmallows. It's like that's not always that way. But I try to just stay as positive and supportive as I can because I know this is going to end. But without the bad stuff, you're not going to appreciate the good stuff. Without the thunderstorms, there's not going to be a rainbow. It's always darkest before the dawn. So it's like I just try to say it's not going to be much longer. Let's just I'll have something good coming up really soon, and I'll be able to just start doing what I want to do. What I really want to do is I want to buy a van, fix it up on the inside so I can live in it. Find a van that's a really nice, decent van, like a cargo van. Pay it off in full. Pay off the insurance in full, and then I don't even care if I put a cot and a cooler in there. I don't care. I just want to have my own place, and that way I can travel around and I can do what I want. And if I want to park someplace to be at a campground for a while, or if I find an Airbnb I want to stay at, I'm okay. There's so many places you can park a van and be stealthy and sleep overnight. So that's what I want to do, and I want to be an inspirational, motivational speaker. I want to be a digital nomad. I want to travel. That's not the life a lot of people want, but that's the life that I want. I want to travel. I want to stay in Airbnbs, hotels, hostels for 2 weeks to 2 months at a time. So it's like I just have to keep plodding along and make sure that's on my vision board. Picture of a nice van, a picture of a condo on the ocean or something like that. And keep going towards my goals, and know that I'm eventually going to reach my goals of being a digital nomad, being an inspirational, motivational speaker, traveling around and helping the homeless and disadvantaged in the areas that I go into. So that's my why. That's part of my why right there. to be able to do what I want to do and show people no matter how bad it got, I stayed positive. And now look at me now. And if you're not going to
Mhm.
be with me when I'm going through the bad times, you don't deserve to be with me when I'm going through the good times. If you weren't my friend and supported me when I was at rock bottom, you don't need to be there when I'm at rock solid, definitely. Not to be rude or
Yeah,
anything, but you couldn't support me when I was down. You don't deserve to be around me when I'm up, basically.
I agree. I want to go back because I want folks to also see like some of the conditions that you went through while being homeless. You said during the tropical storms they come. That's something you have to battle. Where do you go during the tropical storms? Where is the community of homeless humans go, and what is the disadvantage to that? Are you caught in the storm?
Well, last year we had Hurricane Ian come through, and then like 6 weeks later we had Tropical Storm Nicole. Luckily for Hurricane Ian, I was able to get a hostel for like a week, so I was okay, and the hostel was okay. But when the tropical storm came, the coffee shop I was hanging out at, they were closed for 2 days, and I literally just like stayed on their patio. I just stayed on their patio and slept at night on the ground in front of them because the store was closed. So they weren't going to be there. And they knew that I was doing that. And there were other homeless people that were doing that. Some people were like, they were kind of stuck. And it's like, I don't have the capacity to help myself right now, obviously. So I certainly don't have the capacity to help others. But I tried to help as much as I could and said, this is the best we can do. Just, sleep and try not to get wet, and hopefully it's not going to be too bad. So we survived it. So if I can survive, more than one hurricane and tropical storms and stuff, then there's I can survive just about anything, that's for sure.
That's great. That is wonderful. Demetria, did you want to switch off to the
Yeah,
final
yeah.
question? Okay.
Can you give the audience some positive advice how you're going through this and what helps you go through this, and some motivation for anyone that is going through homelessness or the domestic violence piece of it, becoming homeless or bullied becoming homeless, any of those forms surrounding how you get up each and every day and motivate yourself so that you're able to motivate others. So what motivation would you give them?
First of all, nobody deserves to be bullied. Nobody deserves to be in an abusive relationship. Nobody deserves to have a narcissist, trying to make them blame them for everything. We're all humans. We all have our good points and our bad points. And just because somebody else doesn't see your worth, that's one person. Hopefully, only one person that doesn't see your worth, and that reflects more on them than you. Know that if you've gone through that, you're a very strong person, and not everybody's going to be able to get through that. You can turn your pain into your power. You can definitely start using your what you've gone through to help others people who have gone through that. You can grab their hand and pull them up and help them. And then they can grab somebody else's hand and pull them up and help somebody else. So just say, this is temporary. Nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary. As long as I get through this, I just got to get through today. Once you get through today and you wake up tomorrow, I just got to get through today. And every day, keep telling yourself, figure out what it is you need to do, what your goals are, what you need to do to get to those goals, and just keep working on them every day. And say, hey, I'm swimming. It's like you're swimming and you see an island, and you keep swimming and swimming and swimming, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna get there. I'm never gonna get there. And suddenly it's like, well, stand up, and you stand up, and the water's up to your ankles. You're like, oh my god, I'm there. I'm right there. It's all going to be worth it when you turn around and you see that big ocean that you just swam all the way across. And now you see that island and you're like, I did it. I did it. How good is that going to make you feel? And and then you can help somebody else that's in that same position because it makes you feel really good to, help other people. So that's what I really want to tell people. Just don't judge, don't bully. You can be in that spot at any time. How do you want to be treated? How would you want others? If I was your mom, your sister, your grandmother, your aunt, whatever. How would you want that person to be treated? You know, do you want somebody treating your daughter that way, your mother that way, your sister that way? So why would you treat other people that way if you don't want somebody treating you or your family member like that? So I just get up every day and say, today is going to be the day. Something good's going to happen. Somebody's going to sign up for one of my programs. Somebody's going to really reach out and say, we got this. Let's partner up together. Let's collaborate. Let's get this going. So every day I wake up and I'm hoping that happens. And I know it's coming. I know that day is coming really soon. I don't know when. It could be tomorrow. It could be next month. But I know that day is definitely coming for me. And that's what's keeping me swimming. That's what's keeping me treading water. So, you know, if you feel downtrodden, you feel stuck, you feel like you're just adrift, keep going. It's going to get better. I promise. It's going to eventually get better as long as you keep your faith up and keep the hope up and just keep going and don't give up. Don't just sit in the back and say, I give up. I don't care what happens. Don't do that. Keep going, keep swimming, and it's going to make all this pain and agony worth it when you say, oh my gosh, I did it. And now I can help others do that. So that's what I like to say to people. Just keep going, just do it. And it's going to be all, it's going to be, the pleasure is going to be worth all the pain you're going through. That's for sure.
Wise words. Yes, ma'am. So this is where we would like to do our portion called Shameless Plug. So this is where you can let our viewers know how they can utilize your services, anything you're trying to draw traction to, where you would like the custom, or excuse me, the I'm still at work. I apologize.
That's
Um,
right.
the the viewers, just where you would like them to go, just to contact you, get what they need, at least help get what you need, anything. Let the viewers know you got the floor.
All right. Well, contact me at Facebook at Bonnie S. Hardie. I see it going across the screen. You see also where it says, buymeacoffee.com/Bonnie Hardie. You can, $5 increments you can send to me, and I can use that for a tea, a bagel, something to eat. I can use that for whatever. I do have a couple different memberships there. $25 membership for each month, $50 membership for each month. I think a $5 or a $10 membership for each month. And if you do that, and I'm getting money in on a regular basis, I can turn around and use that money for whatever I need the most, whether I need a bus pass, whether I need clothes, whether I need food. So, and you're helping me to help myself, to help others. So, just, if you want to buy me a tea or a bagel, feel free to go there. And if you want to sign up as a membership, $25 or $50 a month, even $10 a month, even if you want to just buy me one bagel for $5 and that's it. That's a good help right there because that's one day bus pass for me that I can go out and do something. So sometimes $5 is a lot of money to some people, sometimes it's nothing. But any little bit helps. And the more money I have coming in, the more stuff I can do. I can get a roof over my head. I can get food. So that, contact me on Facebook. Send me email. The email's coming through there, bonniehardy@yahoo.com. Tell me what you need and ask me how I can help you. And we'll find a solution together so that you can end 2023 strong and you can start 2024 on a rock solid high note.
Bonnie, we want to thank you. As we get into the stories, the life experiences, not the story, as we get into the life experiences, they get deeper and deeper as folks talk. Because I knew you went through a homeless transition. I didn't know you were currently homeless, but me watching you on social media and how positive you are, keep up the good work. You're definitely going to be blessed.
Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. So we want to thank you, Bonnie, and we want to thank everyone that tuned in to Unfiltered, Unspoken podcast. And as you've seen, Bonnie is actually currently homeless, and look at the smile on her face, and she's still pushing to help others through all the trials and tribulations that she is going through. And if Bonnie, if I conclude, if I don't know if you have it or not, but maybe you can create a GoFundMe account and add your surgery and all the needs that you need in there. And then once you do that, if you do that, send us the link and we'll add it under your interview for you.
Thank you. That's something I'm considering. I right now just have the buy me a coffee link, but I am considering a GoFundMe. Just if people could donate to my buy me a coffee right now until I get other things straightened out, that would be like the most help to me. So, but I am looking at doing a GoFundMe or some type of thing like that.
You should. You should. I definitely think you should. So, yes, please come support Bonnie. Buy her a coffee, buy a bagel. It's a website that can help her buy a bus pass or something to eat or coffee or tea in the morning. Let's come together to support our community in the efforts of helping others. As we said, we want to thank you for tuning in to Unfiltered, Unspoken podcast, where we're going to continue to share life experiences of others in hopes that someone will connect so that they can start the journey to healing. And we want to thank Bonnie for her positive message and being positive through her trials and tribulations right now. We will see you soon.
Thank you, Demetria. Thank you, Sid. I appreciate this.
My pleasure.